Hey, fourth graders. So today we are going to be taking what we have been learning all about angles, and we're going to see some different types of questions you might see about angles. So I want you to think carefully back over the last several lessons that we've been working on. What are the different types of angles? What happens when we add angles together? What do I need to remember? Those 3 different types of angles Mrs. Long told me I have to remember. A right angle is 90 degrees, a straight angle is 180 degrees, a full circle is 360 degrees. We're going to take all that information, we're going to take finding missing angles, and we are going to answer some questions about angles. So here we go, guys. Buckle up. Get ready to go. Okay, so it says angle A is shown below. Angle A measures 45 degrees, so I'm going to go ahead and label it. I know that this angle is 45 degrees. Determine the measure of the angle formed if you were to combine means add angle A with the angles given below. So we have to pick one for each row. All I have to do is add angle A to 35 degrees, so I'm just doing plus 45 degrees, right? In each one, I'm adding angle A to the angle that's there. Go ahead and pause, do your addition, and meet back up with me to see if you got it right. Okay, when I do 35 plus 45, sorry about the noise, my neighbor's lawn guy's here. 5 plus 5 is 10, regroup the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 3 is 8. So the first one, I would click on 80 degrees. Remember, I have to, when I see a chart like this, I have to put an answer in every single section. So make sure you do that. Angle C, angle C plus angle A. So that would be 75 plus 45. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Regroup the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. 120 degrees. So I'm going to fill in 120 degrees. Now I have 60 degrees plus 45 degrees. 5 plus 0 is 5. I only see one answer that ends in a 5, so I already know it's going to be 105 degrees, but I want to add just to make sure. And 6 plus 4 is 10, so it is 105 degrees. Okay? Right there is the chart filled in correctly. Let's take a look at question number 2. If they get too close, I'll pause my video and restart when they move a little bit further away. All right, Vicki turns the knob of her lock combination to 144 degrees. And you see on here, it's really light, but you see the line that shows it started right here, and she turned it to right here. And that right there, that turn was 144 degree turn. Okay? How many degrees does she need to turn the knob back in the same direction? So she's going to keep going around this way in the same direction for it to be back to its starting position. All right? So she's going all the rest of the way around the circle. It says she moved in the same direction. So that means that she's not going backwards 144 degrees. She has to continue around the circle. Well, Mrs. Long told me I had to know a full circle is 360 degrees. And I'm going to take away the 144 degrees she already turned, and that's going to tell me how much she has left. Go ahead and pause and do that subtraction, and then meet back up with me to check your answer. Okay. So I already know just by looking at this, it's not going to be 36, right? Because 36 is an acute angle, and this is much bigger than that. I also already know it's not going to be 144 because this is a reflex angle, right? If I were to draw the angle in up from here to here and go all the way around, that's bigger than a straight line, so it's a reflex angle. It has to be one of these that's more than 180 degrees. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do my subtraction. Remember, I have to regroup. All right, so all of our other skills that we've learned in math still come into play. I still have to do regrouping. 10 minus 4 is 6. Oh, they both end in 6. All right, 5 minus 4 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, so it's 216 degrees is the answer. This also has a part B to it where we have a written response. It says Jen chose choice A as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? If I were to guess, I think that Jen didn't go all the way back around. She went just to 180 degrees instead of 360 degrees, right? So Jen went to 180 degrees instead of 360 degrees, right? She only went to the halfway point instead of all the way back around. And it does say it has to go all the way back to the start position. All right, let's look at another one. Ooh, have you guys ever been on one of these rides where it swings back and forth? It's a little, they kind of freak me out a little bit, I'll be honest. I love roller coasters, but these rides freak me out. Okay, an amusement park has a swinging ship ride that goes back and forth. So it starts down and it swings up to 170 degrees at its highest point, and then it goes the same amount in the other direction, right? At the highest point, the ship is 170 degrees from the start position. It swings 170 degrees in each direction from the start position. What is the value of S? Okay, it says it swings in 170 degrees in each direction, okay? So I have 170 degrees to the left and 170 degrees to the right, and then I have this little teeny tiny part of the circle. It doesn't quite go in a full circle. How much is a full circle? Say it to your computer screen now. A full circle is 360 degrees. Okay, so the 170 degrees plus 170 degrees plus S is going to equal the full circle of 360 degrees. So all I have to do is figure out what 170 plus 170 is, and then subtract that from 360. Go ahead and do all of that math right now. Figure out what the answer choice is, and then come back and check your work. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, 170 plus 170, 0 plus 0 is 0, 7 plus 7 is 14, regroup the 1, 2, 3, is 340, plus S equals 360. Well, in my head, I can figure out the rest. 340, 40 plus 20 is 60, so the answer should be 20 degrees. But if I needed to, I could do 360 minus 340, and I would have gotten 20. Okay? It's not too bad so far. I'll tell you right now, the last question's the hardest. Okay, but let's do this one. This should look very familiar. You guys have done a lot of these. We know that this whole angle for the straight line is how much? It says it right here, so that should help. The whole thing is 180 degrees total, right? So, how much is this? How much is A? Well, 54 plus A plus 50 is going to equal 180. 54 plus 50 is 104. 180 minus 104 equals what? Pause and figure it out. All right, regroup. That's a 10. 8 turns into a 7. 10 minus 4 is 6. 7 minus 0 is 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. So 76 degrees, I always want to think, does that make sense? It looks like it could be a right angle or smaller. If I take like a corner and put it in, remember how we can test our corner? All right, it is smaller than a right angle, so that makes sense. It's less than 90 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at this last one. This last one, I will tell you right now, is one of the more advanced type of problems that you would see with angles. You are much more likely to see and be solving the problems that we've done so far. But I do want to go over how to do this one, just in case you see something like this. All right, so a figure skater holds her body in the position shown below. Her arms form an angle that measures 10 degrees less than her legs. When you combine them, combine means to do what now? add them, you get 270 degrees. So angle A plus angle B equals 270 degrees, right? And angle A is angle B minus 10 degrees. Okay? Here's what I would do. I would take this 270 and I would take that 10 away. So that way we're not worrying about it, and now they're the same amount. All right, the 10 degrees difference, I'm just going to take it away from the 270. So now I have 260 degrees. That way I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we're going to add it back in later, but for right now we're just going to take it away. Now my 260 degrees would be angle A plus angle B. Okay, I'm going to take 260, oops, I'm going to need to find some place where I have space. 260, and I'm going to divide it by 2. Why? Because there's 2 angles. 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. I subtract 0, bring down my 6. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract, get 0, bring down my 0. 2 goes into 0, 0 times. 0 times 2 is 0. If I subtract 0, I still get 0. So, I know that angle A equals 130 degrees. Angle B is 10 degrees more. So angle B, if you're losing me here, I get it. If this is a hard problem, this is like an advanced problem. If you see something like this on the fast test, just try and see if you can figure it out. And if you can't, make a good guess and move on. Okay? This is one of those that's okay to make a good guess and move on kind of questions, because this is hard. Angle B is angle A plus 10. Sorry. So 130 plus 10 is 140 degrees. And if I add those two together, I do get 270 degrees. Okay, so all I did was I took the 10 away because the 10 was confusing me, and then I just added it back in at the end. I divided the amount of the angles by 2 because there's 2 angles. That gave me 130 degrees. Then I had to add the 10 back in for angle B, and angle B was 140 degrees. Again, that's a super tricky problem. If you feel confident solving number 1 through 4, you're in good shape. Okay, if you see something like number 5, again, you're going to see maybe one problem like that, and if you miss one problem, it's really okay. So numbers 1 through 4 are the ones that I really want you to focus your attention on. Number 5, I just wanted to show it to you because it is a possible question that you could see, but it is definitely on the hard side of the possible questions you could see. All right, good luck with your work, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.